We decided to put a lot more work into detailing our Fright and Falcon Haunted Maze walkthrough this year. We attended Transworld, HauntX, and the Midwest Haunters Convention this year. We took classes and seminars at each one of those conventions. Now, at Midwest, Mike Tattoo Crosser taught an awesome class on decorating and detailing your haunt. He discussed how to create a couple of different types of wall panels made from 3/4 inch pink extruded foam. One of those types of panels was old barn wood. Now we're creating a scene in our walkthrough with a giant jumping spider prop this year, and the barnwood wall panels are a perfect choice for the wall panels in that display. You begin with a 3/4 inch thick sheet of pink foam insulation. Measure the width of the individual planks within the panel and mark the lines. You can make each plank a different width or the same width, it's up to you, but the total width of all the planks within a panel should add up to the 48-inch width of the panel itself. We decided to make each plank 8 inches wide, so we had 6 planks per panel. And once the lines are marked, you want to carve the gaps between each plank. The best way to do this is to use a sharp razor blade to carve a V-shaped channel along each of the lines that you marked earlier. First you slice at 45 degrees in one direction, then at 45 degrees from the other direction to create that V-shaped channel between the planks. It's okay if your cuts aren't perfectly straight. It adds to the realism of the weathered, aged look of the barnwood. Next, use a stiff wire brush to grind some knot holes into the planks. Just pick some random spots and do 1 to 3 knot holes per plank. Once the knot holes are done, use a wire brush to scrape the wood grain into the foam. I found that one of my wire brushes worked better for creating the knot holes, and a different wire brush worked better for the wood grain. Now the wood grain you carve should flow around the knot holes. When the knot holes and wood grain are done, use a heat gun to help create the weathered look to the panels. First, you want to brush off all of the little bits of foam that the wire brushes left behind. Notice how the scratches open up from the heat gun. Heating the foam like this also strengthens and hardens the surface of the foam. And when the entire panel has been treated with the heat gun, it's time to paint. Start with a full base coat of flat black paint. I did this one with a brush, but it took a long time. When I made multiple panels later, I used a paint sprayer, and it took about 30 seconds per panel for the black base coat. Once the black base coat has dried, use a sponge to dry brush the panels with a gray paint. The wood grain surface is pretty abrasive, so you'll go through a lot of sponges. I found that I needed a new sponge for each panel that I did. If you'd like, you can follow the gray up with some patches of very faint light brown. When I looked around at real barnwood, I noticed that the areas that weren't directly exposed to the weather and sunlight, like under eaves and overhangs, weren't quite as gray. Those areas retained a bit of the brown wooden color. And here's the finished product. Thanks for watching.